Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you're having a fantastic day. We're going to go ahead and cover OP. I think it's referred to as Optimism. I like to call it overpowered because it tends to go on crazy increases and obviously decreases. We'll see if this trend to the downside is broken and if there's any more potential for further upside. That said, not a financial advisor, love teaching people to trade. I hope you can learn something today. If you are planning to become a better trader, CryptoCache.tech is a site. Link in the description below. Consider joining my trading academy. If you like what you see and how I provide my analysis, I do this on every single trade that I take, and I share that too as well with some signals if you'd like to follow those too. So again, just helping people kind of become better traders in general, and everyone has had a very positive experience. So feel free to join. Consider that link once again down below. I do also offer discounts for third world countries and military. Feel free to reach out to me and let me know. All right, so taking a look here at OP. First and foremost, we can kind of see that we're looking pretty good in the general sense of today's increase, right? Now, that said, we'll take a look at a few other things, but generally speaking, that's positive because it's broken this descending type of trend, all right? Doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be bullish from here. It just implies that we may no longer see further downside. And again, I say may because the day hasn't closed yet. We could totally close in a gravestone and the price could continue lower. So far, so good though. We'll see if it can sustain itself. Taking a look, of course, at the RSI, kind of getting rejected by 50 on the RSI tentatively, which isn't a terrible thing, but that is generally something we don't need to be aware of. I can also see here somewhat of a trend line here. We can go ahead and draw out as per usual, just in case the price action were to come up there. 136 may be a resistance level, okay? We're going to take a look also as well at Fibonacci. Go ahead and add this down here and kind of see that does reaffirm that resistance right there at about 134/135. You round up a little. We have a MACD potential convergence, and I say potential because it's a long ways from it, but it is looking like this momentum to the downside is losing, right? So we're starting to lose momentum to the downside, which is ultimately a very positive thing. So in this sense here, we can see that that is going to potentially turn itself around, but it's still too early to tell, right? Again, just something kind of for future reference. Hypothetically, the price gets stuck between 110 and 135 and it's range bound moving forward. That's likely a scenario before it breaks to the upside. It's very common for a descending trend to become channel bound, as we can kind of see here. For example, you can kind of just take a look at this guy, descending trend, followed by straight consolidation and then a potential breakout. Hypothetically, we see consolidation here and then a breakout, right? Again, it doesn't always work out that way, but it's a trend and trends tend to repeat themselves. So taking a look at the 4 hour, we can see here we're up over 50 on the RSI, haven't been in some time. That's a very positive sign as well, kind of reiterating the fact that we broke through a key level resistance. Once again, doesn't mean it's going to continue to shoot to the moon. It just implies we've broken that descending type of pattern and the likelihood of further downside is lower. That's all it really tells us. We can see a MACD convergence, so to speak. We got kind of a bounce yesterday at about 9 a.m., roughly 24 hours ago. So, that was helpful in a sense because it bounced off that key level support, kind of did a double bottom, and now it's coming back up again. All right, so good stuff in that regard as well. So all in all, the 4 hour looks pretty decent. Where are we at for the moving averages? Let's go ahead and take a look. We can go ahead and see on the moving averages that we are above and below specific important ones, right? So the 4 hour, to me, the most important is the 200. So the 200 descent moving average is working as a potential resistance that could likely keep the price action in this range here or below this range to essentially allow for it to consolidate further sideways and build a base. All right, we need more of a volume base at the 110 range before we can see it just truly take off. Again, not always, but likely. That's usually how it's supposed to work. I forgot to look at the moving averages on the daily. Let's see if we have anything to speak of. We did get a nice, sweet little bounce here off of the 50-day set moving average. So that's awesome. Very cool. Kind of just giving us the confirmation that we are in somewhat of an ascending type of trend here. Okay, so that looks really good. All in all, we could very well see a breakout to the upside within the next week or so. That's a possibility. All right, so optimism or overpowered, whatever you want to call it. It is looking kind of OP for the moment, but once again, we will see. So taking a look at the cloud, last thing to kind of take a peek at, it's giving us all green lights to kind of keep our position open, even though it does appear to be slightly overextended, and what we can see is that we're getting some decent consolidation between these periods. So these are 4 to 5 hour periods of consolidation, allowing for us to get these resets. So it does allow for this push to the upside to be fairly healthy, if you will, because it's creating somewhat of a staircase pattern. And if you've been part of my community, you'll know what I'm talking about. Staircase patterns are things you want to try to look for to give you the indication that the price likelihood of going higher is there. So there's a great chance we're going to go ahead and see this continue to progress upwards from here. That's essentially what we're looking at. Again, that's just kind of the concept and the idea of what's going on here. Again, the overall consensus is that we should experience an uptrend from OP. Pending Bitcoin doesn't tank to 17,600 once more and retest that support level, essentially, we should see OP continue higher. Because again, if we take a look at OP right now, and if we take a look at when it started retracing on August 4th, Bitcoin's August 4th was in an uptrend, right? So it's fairly independent of Bitcoin, even though it's going to rely on Bitcoin being moderately successful to be able to increase moving forward. So again, there's a handful of different schools of thought that you could think about here, but generally speaking, it's definitely looking like it wants to continue to progress higher. So yeah, again, OP looks good to me as far as I would say, I'm not saying take a long position because there's a very good chance we could get rejected up here soon. But if it breaks above 135, that would be the confirmation I'm looking for to take a long position. All right. Again, I still think there's probably a good week's worth of consolidation before we get there. Okay. Because again, we just came down to a 7 here essentially, and it makes sense for the price to want to recover based on being so far down for so long. All right, so that's kind of what we're looking at there. I hope that this made sense, and obviously you learned something here today. If you did, comment below, like, subscribe, all that good stuff if you want to. And obviously, if you're not currently a community member, CryptoCache.tech is a site, link in the description below. I do once again offer discounts for military in third world countries. Be sure to message me, let me know. Only use the contact information below for me. I will never directly message you first and try to solicit you and sell you anything. It's your choice if you want to join the community or not, right? Just so you know, I'm not going to reach out to you through WhatsApp or any of the other bull stuff. All right. Have a great rest of your day. We'll see you in the next one. Thanks again for your time.